Look, if you've spent the last month fine-tuning your resume keywords, chasing every new AI certification, and you still haven't heard a single peep, I have something difficult to tell you. You're trying to win a game that the players themselves are quietly abandoning. I know how it feels. You're sitting there at 11 p.m., staring at another thank you for your interest email if you're lucky enough to even get one. Most of the time, it's just silence. You start questioning your worth. You wonder if those 15 years of experience suddenly evaporated. But I'm here to tell you, it's not you, it's the system. Let's look at the reality of 2026. Right now, 83% of enterprises are using AI to screen every single resume that comes through their door. That's up from less than half just a few years ago. And here's the kicker. 70% of employers are now using automated systems to reject candidates before a human being ever even sees your name. Think about that for a second. 70%. You aren't being rejected by a hiring manager who doesn't like your background. You're being filtered out by an algorithm that thinks you're a rounding error. This is why the average job search for people like you, skilled white-collar professionals, has stretched out to 6 months. To 26 weeks of shouting into a void. If you're feeling exhausted, you should be. You're fighting a war against 99% of the Fortune 500 who have handed the keys of their talent acquisition to an ATS that doesn't understand context, it only understands patterns. But here's the part that should keep you awake, and eventually it's the part that's going to give you your life back. If these companies are using AI to block everyone out, why are they simultaneously panicking that they don't have enough talent? Why are they complaining about a skills gap while they ignore your application? There's a massive disconnect happening under the surface, and once you see it, you can't unsee it. So, let's talk about what's actually going on inside these buildings. Corporate leadership is terrified. I've been in these rooms and the vibe has shifted. While they've been busy automating the doing with what they call agentic AI, they've accidentally deleted their institutional memory. I call this the Tacit Knowledge Collapse. Think about it like this. Imagine a company is a high-performance car. For the last 2 years, every CEO has been obsessed with building a bigger, faster engine. That engine is AI. It can process data, write code, and generate reports at speeds we've never seen. But in their rush to install this massive engine, they've slowly been removing the steering wheel. That steering wheel, that's human judgment, that's you. Research is showing us that 70% of a company's vital operational know-how, the how things actually get done stuff, is stored only in human heads. It's not in the manuals. It's not in the Slack archives. It's tacit knowledge. It's the intuition that tells you a project is going to fail 3 weeks before the data shows it. As companies deploy these AI agents to handle finance and operations, they're creating a vacuum in mid-level management. They thought they were being efficient. But now, 95% of these AI agent projects are failing to reach production. Why? Because there's no human in the loop to govern them. There's no one left who remembers why the systems were built that way in the first place. They have plenty of engines. They are desperately missing drivers. Here's the twist. The more they automate, the more valuable the unautomatable parts of your brain become. They are hollowing out the middle, and it's creating a brain drain that is costing them millions. They're dying for someone to come in and tell them how to stop the bleeding. But they don't know how to ask for it because they're still using the same old AI-driven job descriptions to find the same old executors. Now, this is the part that changes everything. If the middle is collapsing, where is the safe ground? It's not in being a better Excel-leader. It's in becoming the person who manages the machines. Let me tell you about a colleague of mine. Let's call him David. David was a big tech engineering director, heavy hitter, 20 years in the game. When the 2025 layoffs hit, he did what everyone else did. He polished his resume, added AI strategy to his bio, and sent out 200 applications. He got nothing. For 4 months, he was a ghost. Then, we grabbed coffee, just like this. And I told him, David, stop applying for jobs. Start offering insurance against systemic failure. He shifted his entire approach. He stopped looking for a 9-to-5 where he was just another line item on a spreadsheet. Instead, he pivoted to becoming a fractional CTO. He targeted mid-market firms that had jumped headfirst into AI and were now realizing their data was a mess and their teams were burning out. He didn't pitch, I can lead your team. He pitched, I will audit your AI human workflow to ensure you don't have a catastrophic collapse of institutional knowledge. He's now working as a fractional CTO for 3 different firms. He works about 30 hours a week. His total compensation, $450,000. He isn't an employee anymore. He's an institutional knowledge consultant, and he's not alone. This whole sector of fractional and independent expert roles grew by 57% last year. Companies are moving away from full-time overhead because they're scared of the future. They want wisdom on demand. They want the biological bridge. These people aren't earning $15,000 to $22,000 a month because they're better at coding or spreadsheets than you are. It's because they've mastered a variable that AI literally cannot scrape from the internet. They've realized that in 2026, being an expert is a commodity. Being a protector of wisdom is a premium. Let that sit for a second. The very experience you think is making you too expensive or overqualified is actually the only thing they're willing to pay a premium for. You just have to change the label on the bottom. We've entered the era of the reality auditor. In a world of AI hallucinations and synthetic data, the most valuable person in the room is the one who can look at a beautiful AI-generated projection and say, wait, this doesn't pass the vibe check, and then be right about why. This is what I call the biological bridge premium. While productivity in AI-exposed sectors has surged by 27%, the value of pure doing has plummeted, but the value of judgment has never been higher. There's a 23% salary premium right now for roles that combine AI technical literacy with first principles thinking and human-centric soft skills. Recruiters aren't looking for someone who can prompt an LLM. Anyone can do that. They're looking for the person who knows when to use it, why it's giving a certain output, and how to navigate the unspoken company politics that a machine will never understand. Top-tier fractional architects and reality auditors are now commanding anywhere from $175 to $600 an hour. Why? Because the cost of an AI mistake in 2026 is often 10 times higher than the cost of a human salary. When a company's automated customer service bot starts promising free products, or their AI-driven logistics engine deletes the supply chain, they don't need a programmer. They need an auditor of reality. They need someone who understands the tactical intuition of the business. This is the secret. AI is hollowing out the middle of the expertise curve. It's great at being a junior, and it's okay at being a senior, but it's terrible at being a leader. The only safe ground left is the extreme senior end where judgment lives. You aren't competing with AI, you are the person who signs off on what the AI does. That is a completely different career path, and it's one that pays significantly better than the one you're currently on. So, let's get tactical. How do you actually reposition yourself this week to become that steering wheel recruiters are starving for? I want you to do 3 things immediately. First, audit your LinkedIn. If your headline says Senior Project Manager or Software Architect, you're positioning yourself as an executor. You're inviting the AI to compare you to other machines. Change it. Focus on institutional architecture or AI human workflow governance. Move your pitch from what I can do to the failure I prevent. Use words like judgment, wisdom, and governance. Second, I want you to identify one tacit knowledge gap in your current company or the one you're interviewing for. Look for the thing that everyone knows is a mess, but nobody has documented. Document it. Show them that you are the one who understands how the engine actually connects to the wheels. Third, reframe your pitch. When you're talking to a recruiter, don't talk about your certifications. 86% of recruiters are now shifting their focus away from technical tests and toward live problem solving and institutional wisdom. They want to see how you think, not what you know. You have to realize you're not an executor anymore. You're an architect of judgment. Stop proving you can work. The machines have already won that race. Start proving you can lead the machines. Start proving that you're the insurance policy they didn't know they needed. This isn't easy. It requires a fundamental shift in how you see yourself. But the people who figure this out, they aren't just getting callbacks, they're getting retainers. They're getting their time back, and they're getting paid what they're actually worth. The 400 Clés secret isn't a new skill you have to learn. It's the wisdom you already have, finally applied to the one thing AI can't replace, the courage to make a human decision. Take a breath. You've got this. I'll see you in the next one.